Hey guys, it's me, Christy Lee. I just got off work and I've been really excited about this new greenhouse, and I've been watching videos about plant propagation and propagating trees, stuff like that. And I remembered the last time I was out here at this park, there's a fig tree growing out here. It doesn't belong to anybody, it's just out here. So I went home, grabbed my snips, and we're gonna get some cuttings, some fig tree cuttings. As I'm standing here, I realized this is a bayberry tree, or a wax myrtle. It has a lot of medicinal benefits. It's a little windy, but here is the fig tree. Just growing out here. So I'm gonna take some cuttings today. Alright, so I took some cuttings, not a whole lot. It'll be a nice little start to, well, I would love to have some fig trees. I know my boyfriend would like them as well. And then once they get established, I can sell more cuttings. So, and then I figured, since I was out here already, I might as well go take a look at this tree that I found lion's mane on 2 years ago. It's way back in the back. I don't even know if I can get to it anymore. It's grown up a lot in that time, but since I'm here, we're gonna go take a look. Alright, I just climbed through all that mess to check that tree back there. That was the tree. Wait, did I look at you? That was the tree 2 years ago that had mushrooms, but none now. You know, one of my favorite things to do when I'm walking around out here and I see a tree that looks like it might be good for what I'm looking for, I see it and I say, "Oi, you've got any mushrooms?" And then I go check, because I mean, it's not really gonna respond, right? There's little brown ones everywhere. I'm not out for little brown mushrooms. I'm out for food. Actually, this is a tree I'm about to show you guys that usually has oyster. This, you know, it's been down for a while, so I don't know if it will or not, but I don't see anything. I guess I could put my stick down. I don't know that I want to. Oh, there it goes anyway. Okay. No oyster today. I thought I saw something on the other side, but it was just a leaf and somebody's clothes. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna come out into the woods. I was just gonna come get my fig cuttings. Ooh. And then check that tree for the lion's mane, but, well, I lied to myself, which is often the case. It's like I can't resist a chance to look around in the woods. Not seeing a whole lot other than, like I said, the little round mushrooms are everywhere. I did find some usnea. Let me see, where am I? A pocket full of usnea. Look, see, they're everywhere. Look at these things. Only mushrooms I can find right now. These, and then I don't know if they're the same ones because they're a lot smaller, but they could be. Look at this little group of mushrooms. So cute. Look at this little piece of, I don't know, driftwood. Looks pretty cool. I might take that with me. I somehow ended up at a trash dump in the woods. Lots of trash out here. Okay, seriously, I gotta go. Getting way too close to dark. And it's so quiet out here. I mean, I do enjoy the peace and quiet when I go out to the woods, but sometimes it's just a little too much peace and quiet. Like, I'm the only human being alive, and all the murderous animals are just watching waiting for me to get close enough for them to eat. That's kind of how I feel. I think I just found my first real honest to goodness wood bluets. Look how beautiful that color is. Oh, that's gorgeous. So these are also edible. If I can get them out of the ground in one piece. Oh, yeah, let's see. Take a picture of that just to show people. But man, they're so gorgeous. They're so pretty. Ooh, I see more hiding too. I'll come back after I collect them. That one's a little further gone. I don't know. I'm gonna have to double check because it looks like got some brown spore prints. Yeah, that's like rusty. I have to ask. That one's gorgeous. Hey guys, it's the next day. I'm out delivering. I'm just helping delivering. I'm not actually on delivery today, but I stopped at I had a drop off. I had a delivery, and I noticed the lady had some broadleaf plantain growing in her yard, which I have not been able to find despite looking everywhere. So I asked her if I could take some of her leaves. I was like, I know this is gonna sound really, really weird, but if you've got this weed growing in your yard that has a lot of medicinal benefits and it's edible, would you mind if I take some leaves? And she was like, sure. Alright guys, I am at home, and I want to give you a little update. I did a spore print on those mushrooms that I thought were wood bluets. They were so beautiful, so perfect. Well, some of them were perfect. But I noticed a brown sort of color around the stem on some of them. So sometimes with a mushroom, in order to be able to tell one apart from the other, because wood bluets are edible, but the look-alike is a Cortinarius, or we call them quartz, is not edible. So sometimes the only way to tell them apart is to do a spore print. So I did a spore print, and I wanted to show you guys the results of that. So a edible wood bluet would have a creamy white to maybe pinkish spore print, I think is what I read. Definitely creamy white. And then the quartz will have a rust brown colored spore print. So let's see what we've got. Now to do a spore print, I have aluminum foil here. That's what I had on hand. You use white paper, black paper, a mirror. Sometimes I think it's easier to do this, but sometimes black paper works a lot better. Sometimes if it's a light color, it's hard to see on light colored surfaces. But anyway, you cover it with something, whatever you've got. And I like to leave mine overnight. This has actually been a little longer. You place it, so this is the top. You always place it gill or pore side down, depending on what kind of mushroom you're looking at. The fertile surface on this mushroom is underneath the cap in the gills. So when I move this away, you can see that is a rusty brown colored spore print, which means those beautiful mushrooms are not the edible wood bluets that I was hoping for. Which is good to know. It's good to know. Definitely don't want to be eating something that you cannot eat. So this is really cool too, because if you do, you see how like when I turn it, you can in some spaces almost not see it. So if that was like a white or creamy white, that might be harder to see in some light, but that's pretty clear. Also, here's the usnea that I had in my pocket yesterday. I've got it soaking in water because it was really dry when I found it, which is not a problem. You definitely want to collect this from fallen branches or after it's fallen off the tree itself. You don't want to, it takes a very, very long time for usnea to grow. So I collected this because it was on a branch that had fallen and it was just going to rot away. Now the usnea that I'm looking for is supposed to have a stretchy kind of elastic feel to it. And this doesn't, but I'm wondering if it's just because it was really dry. So I'm letting it soak for a little while, and then I'll wring it out and see if it's got the elasticity that I'm looking for. If not, I'm pretty sure all usnea is medicinal in some way or another. I would just need to know exactly what type I have, or if it's the type I'm looking for to use for certain things, if that makes any sense. I think I'm gonna go put some of these fig cuttings that I took yesterday in some soil and get those going. And there was something else. Oh, my ginger rhizomes? Ginger? Is it ginger? Yeah, ginger and turmeric I saved the rhizomes for to try to replant. So I think I might do that. The difference in temperature in here compared to out there is amazing. I'm definitely going to have to keep that in mind over the summer, because it is much warmer in here than it is out there. So you guys were with me. What is that? You guys were with me when I started these seeds the other day. I'm gonna have to look back and see what was in here, because I've already got 3 little sprouts right here. So cute. And then it looks like maybe, unless these are just weeds, that I've also got little babies over here. Pretty cool. I do have some weeds coming up here. Like, this is not a seed I planted. That's Biden's alba. I'm very familiar with these little guys taking over my garden. I'm gonna pull those out of here. Alright, I just looked back at the videos I did when I started this, and these 4 cells are chamomile. And then these guys are the snowball, what's the word? What's the white stuff that looks like broccoli? Keep wanting to say Brussels sprouts. That is not it. Cauliflower. Those guys are cauliflower. Alright, so here's the turmeric root I bought from the store. I only needed some of it, and then the ginger as well. This started sprouting just sitting in the house by itself. So I think I'm going to just sit these on top of some soil and see if they'll do something. And then here's the fig cuttings. I need to find some pots to put them in. Alright, so for the figs, I only did 2, because all I have right now is a fertilized potting soil. And a video I was watching yesterday said that you wanted like a sterile medium to root your cuttings in, and I don't have that. Also, they're not supposed to be in direct sunlight, so I'm gonna put these guys down here in front of these boxes just to keep them from getting baked. And then I have these left to try in different rooting mediums. And then for this big guy that just started sprouting on his own, I just set him on top of the soil. I'm hoping the soil's not too wet and that it'll do okay, but I'll be checking back regularly with this guy. And then over here for the other ginger and turmeric, I just kind of placed them on the surface of the soil. This is part of my compost. And I think that one might be rotting, and just kind of loosely covered them with some hay to protect them, because it's right up against the wall and it can get a little chilly overnight. And then I kept my bowl and stuff here to remind myself, don't use that for anything, because I have used some of it over here to fertilize my banana tree. Oh, yay. That's exciting. I thought I killed my rose. What was this called? I don't remember what kind of rose it was. Anyway, I brought it in here because everything froze. All the leaves died, and I was like, oh no, it's a goner. But it has already started putting off new growth since coming in the greenhouse. Yay! And look at my Easter lilies coming back. Oh, that's so cool. So I had 2 Easter lilies last year I brought home. They died off sometime over the summer, and it looks like it's got a bunch of little rhizomes in there. And it's creating new plants for me, so I'll be able to separate these out and maybe sell those in the spring or around Easter. Alright guys, now I've got to go in the house and get those plantain leaves that I got from my customer. Oh, funny thing. So after I got back to the shop, the phone rings and my boss answers, and then she hangs up, or she puts him on hold. She's like, Christy, one of the deliveries you made, did you ask her about some weed in her yard? And I was like, yes. And she says, she's on the phone for you. So I get on the phone and she's like, hey, you delivered flowers to me this morning and you asked me about the plantain in my yard. She's like, I tried to do a little research. She's like, but you can come back and you can take the whole thing. Which at first I was kind of like, what do you mean take the whole thing? It's a weed. And then she says, we've been trying to chop it back and it just keeps coming. And it's too big. We can't back out of our driveway safely. We can't see around it. So you can just come and take the whole thing. So now I'm like, what is she talking about? She obviously either doesn't know which weed I was talking about. And if she did look up plantain, she might have found the banana variety. But she did have elderberry growing in the corner right around where the plantain was. So I'm wondering if that's what she's talking about. If she wants me to come back and dig up all of her elderberry growing there. It's so funny because I've recently been thinking about, you know, what if I become one of those people that people call on when they're like, hey, what's this in my yard? Is it good for anything? That might be me one day. So if I do go back to this lady's yard, I will explain to her that the plantain is not ever going to be tall enough for you to block the driveway. That's probably your elderberry, and your elderberry is very, very good. And if you ever need elderberry medicine, it's going to be very expensive. So she might want to learn about the plants she has in her yard. We'll see. We'll see if I ever go back. But I need to go get those leaves in the dehydrator or in some alcohol. I haven't decided yet which way I'm going to prepare it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye, guys. I just got back in the house, you guys, and I know I already said goodbye, but I wanted to let you know that that worked. So soaking it gave it the elasticity that I was looking for. It's like a little rubber band now. So I'll be making probably a tincture with this, as well as my plantain, which I have just, I wanted to look up the Honeystead's video on making a plantain tincture. So I just found it, and I'm going to go watch it again to remind myself of all the steps, and then I will I'll start that process. I'll keep you guys updated with all of that as well. Okay, it's me again. I was just reading that figs require at least 100 hours of temperatures around 45 degrees or less in order to produce fruit. So we're going to take them out of the greenhouse and leave them outside with all the other cold hardy plants.